Old.
Old.
Being old. I need your help. You must
have to
kill
kill
me.
me.
You have to kill me. That's us right now.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm surviving. I'm not thriving. I'll be honest. I'm surviving.
I'm doing great.
Hardly
I
surviving.
can't relate.
Ethan is living the life. He got a job.
I got a job. Hashtag employed. Yeah. I mean, way to take my news from me.
Sorry,
but,
go ahead.
I basically have been unemployed for the past 3 weeks, slay. But I recently got hired, and I don't want to say like the company because I know you bitches would come find me.
Oh.
But I am gonna be working for like a fashion PR company in LA, and I'm super excited.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Congratulations.
We work with like a lot of big celebs and stuff, so.
He's employed. He's not broke anymore.
Not broke anymore.
He's not a broke boy.
If you see me pulling by in a Rolls Royce and someone spits on you, that was probably me.
Yeah. You're not a Rolls Royce person though.
No, I do like
You're like a Maserati.
Maserati, no. Maseratis are for like Middle Eastern men with small penises. Is that okay?
I thought that was you.
I am famously Middle Eastern.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
The stripper last night was Middle Eastern.
Oh my god. Okay, talk about it.
So last night was our friend Haley's bachelorette party.
Yeah. Congratulations, Hills. We're
surviving.
so happy for you. Yeah, she's getting married. How does it
She's
feel?
getting married.
I can't believe someone our age is getting married.
I know.
Do you ever have like it feels like it shouldn't be allowed?
Well, all my friends are married.
Are they?
I'm the weird one.
Are you the only single
I'm the
one?
odd person out, and they're
Always
always
the
like,
bridesmaid,
oh,
never the bride.
You'll meet someone when you want.
Not
And
the
then-
pity like he's coming.
It'll come when you least expect.
Yeah, I hate that.
And I'm like, bitch, I know a lot about your relationship, and I would not want to be in it.
Yeah.
So I don't need your pity.
You're not talking about anyone specific though.
No, just
No,
a lot of people.
Yeah.
No, not Haley.
No, yeah, it is always laughable to me when people in relationships are like, well, he's out there for you. You know, like maybe I can set you up and be like, based on your taste, honey, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and don't get me wrong, like there's friends who I know who are in great relationships, but yeah,
That's
some of them I'm like, yikes.
That's what one of the girls on the trip was saying, because she listens to the pod, and she was like, can you guys do an episode about like whether you should settle for an ugly man or like wait for a hot man, or like what? Like, do you think everybody settles for ugly men? Because the hot ones are just they're not boyfriend material. And I was like, that
honestly,
is kind of
I think that is kind of tea. Yeah. What's your belief system when it comes to that? Because
I think that ugly men can be he's bored.
I think ugly men make the
Ugly is
best husbands.
subjective. Ugly is subjective to you. So I think that there can be mediocre looking men out there that are also assholes, and there can be great looking men that are the kindest
1000%.
people you've ever met. So it's just, you gotta find them. Yeah.
What is, to me, I think is an important distinction is finding a guy who maybe is attractive but doesn't like make that the core of his personality and isn't like aware of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when a guy like knows he's like hot, it's kind of a turn off.
Does anyone really know that they're hot though?
Yeah, there are people.
Or do you think it's just overcompensation for insecurities, and they are making themselves that hot because they are insecure
probably.
that they're not? Like,
of course.
It takes work to be hot.
It stems from somewhere.
You gotta do Botox, you gotta do filler, you gotta work out, you gotta eat healthy, you gotta get your hair done, you gotta pluck your eyebrow. Like, it takes so much.
No, but some people are like genetically blessed and they're just like gorgeous. You know what I mean?
Well, those people are.
When it comes to the bod and everything, yeah, I get it.
They're
but
God's
like
favorites.
some people just like are stunning.
Yeah, they have like flawless skin for no reason. They just use hand soap on their face and they never break out. It is.
Dawn.
Life is not fair.
Dawn dish
Life's
soap.
not fair. It sucks.
Life is honestly, you heard it here first. Life's not fair.
Life is not fair. It sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
I said that to a client. I was like, so in therapy you can use the word, if somebody cusses, like a patient, you can cuss, like use that word, like then it's decided between the two of you, like the patient decides, I use this word, and then you're like, okay, I can use that.
Interesting.
And you're supposed to use their wording because also it's like you're empathizing with them. So if you want to empathize with somebody, use the exact wording that they say. And he was like, I just feel shitty, like I just feel like a shitty person, and like this life is shitty. And I was like, life is shitty. was like, life can be
Wow,
shitty.
you're really doing the most to
Yeah.
uplift your clients and make them feel
But,
better.
I mean, I said a lot more, but at one point I was like, yeah, life can be shitty.
You're like, honestly, that's tea.
And you just have to, like we talked about with depression, like, honestly, just validating that somebody is low,
Yeah.
it's like, that's the most healing thing.
And because sometimes you're, like, so used to everyone being like,
it'll get better.
yeah,
It's
and
fine.
you don't
Be
always
happy.
need someone to sugarcoat it. You
Yeah,
don't. Sometimes
yeah.
you need someone to be like, honestly, yeah,
Yeah, it sucks.
it sucks. Anyway, the stripper.
But that's kind of. Oh wait.
How was the stripper? Okay, so we had one of our our very good friend.
Dear God.
One of our I'm like having a stroke. One of our best friends,
If you see
Haley,
me
is
dissociate,
getting married in
pay
a
attention.
month, and so she had her bachelorette party.
And then we had a
last
stripper,
night.
and he was gyrating all over the dance floor. He had moves. He was it was something. You had to be there.
But also the way our friend Haley became emotionally vested in his life.
This
Apparently,
woman she could empathize with a rock.
And she has.
And she has.
She'll
see a worm and be like, oh my God.
That poor worm.
It's so low.
Yeah. It's like that, you know that video of the shrimp that's like, I need my sister had a baby, I don't know how to take care of the baby, and then the baby died.
Tail, yes.
Yeah. So funny.
No,
she would
that's
be
her.
like, oh my God, really?
She went around and told every single person this man's life story that she learned in about 5
Well, she found out
seconds.
he had a son because I
Yeah.
think she saw on his lock screen like him with a
Yeah.
young baby child.
Yep.
And so I think it
This
becomes
man.
real. But also, like, that's kind of unprofessional. I'm sorry. As a stripper, you should not be flashing your little son like around when you're trying to like gyrate on these women. You know.
It was special. It
Yeah.
was different.
It was different.
He was a good sport though.
Yeah.
And we had fun.
Yeah.
And then we went to a great disco in San Diego, danced the night away. I had a feather boa that I became a different person.
You did.
Marissa was unlocked. Got us into the bar for free, cut the line.
Yeah, I have to say, one of Molly's like
I was
special
very proud.
powers is like finessing the door.
I was very proud.
It was impressive. And there was a line of like maybe like what, 50 people, 40, 50 people. And we were like at the back, and so she goes up to the front and is like, hi.
Hi.
And yeah,
I
and she
said,
got
"Hi,
us
my
in.
name's
She
Molly."
fully got us to cut the line, no cover. It was crazy.
Hi, my name's Molly.
Yeah.
And my name's Elle Woods. This is Bruiser Woods. We're both vegetarian.
Gemini vegetarian.
Gemini vegetarian.
No, it was very much that energy. But it worked. I was like, honestly,
Yep.
go team.
And I had the DJ shout out Halo. It was great. It was a good time. But anyways, that's kind of what we're talking about today a little bit is our topic is aging.
Aging, big life transitions.
Dealing with aging, dealing with
Yeah.
people getting married and getting older.
Becoming an adult.
Becoming an adult.
Yeah.
What do you have to say? What's the
Well,
one thing
I mean,
you wanna
this,
touch on?
for us, is really kind of the reason we started the podcast in the first place.
Oh,
Like, we
yeah.
wanted to kind of provide a guidebook almost for like surviving this tumultuous period in your 20s where you're not really a kid anymore and you're not yet an adult, like you're kind of transitioning into that phase of life. And I do feel like in the past year or so that's become a lot more real.
Yeah.
Like, I graduated college, like a lot of my friends are in serious relationships or like starting like their careers. But then I also have friends who are like still in school and like don't know what they're doing tomorrow, you know? So it's like, it's such a weird time in your life because everyone's in like a different stage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's totally fine, like whether you're the person getting married or you're the person who's like out there like still going on date, like whatever it is. But it's easy to feel like you are behind.
Yeah, it's really easy.
Yeah.
Especially in your 20s.
Completely.
I think early 20s you feel a lot like that, and then later you realize it's really interesting in your 20s because in the first half you're in college, you're still hanging out with 18-year-olds, you could be like freshmen.
Yeah.
And you've never been in the workforce. You probably still live with people. You haven't made your own money like for real yet and been thrown out into adulthood. You're still on your parents' health insurance. So the difference between being 20 and then being like 29, it's really vast.
It's drastic.
Whereas being like 30 and 39, I think everything
It's kinda the
after
same.
25, like when I meet people that are older than 25, ranging from like 25 to 40, we're all pretty much in the same mindset. You like work and you know what it is to like be an adult, be off your parents' health insurance. You've already been through the college phase. You've learned some life lessons. There are still differences, but that change from like being 20 to 29 is huge. And Ethan and I are only like 23. We're only 3 years apart.
Yeah.
And I constantly tell him like, this is something that you're gonna learn in like the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Because there is still a difference.
Yeah.
I feel like once you hit 25, it'll be less so.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, it's weird. Like, I mean, your transition, you just had like a big move to a new city. I mean, within the past like year or so, you're starting your career as a therapist, like actually treating patients.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, it's weird to think like, okay, like I used to be a kid and be like, oh, well, that's like years and years away.
Yeah.
And now you're like, no, I have like a real job.
Well,
you know?
I think maybe what I was trying to explain to you earlier, because I was like, there is this new weird feeling of aging that I've been having.
Yeah.
And I think it's nostalgia, like seeing all of my college friends at this bachelorette party was weird because I haven't seen some of them in like a couple years, and like there's a lot of time between when I see them, and you can just like see aging on. I mean, they still look young. We're in our 20s, but like you can kind of see that they've grown.
Well, you're not like
aged.
19 anymore, you know.
Yeah, and I think that is kind of the similarity between 25 and up. Is this is the time you start feeling that really like bittersweet nostalgia that's like very sentimental. And I did feel that a little bit in my early 20s, but now I'm like, holy shit, like this is all temporary. Time does not stop.
No, it doesn't.
And like
in fact,
the next
I feel
time,
like it speeds up the older you get.
It speeds up, and the next time I see them, it's gonna be like in 2 years, and it's gonna be even more nostalgic and like
someone might have kids.
Yeah, and so when I talk to people that are in their 30s and they're like, yeah, like being young is nice. Like I feel like
depressing.
When I talk to 30-year-olds, I feel like there's this understanding we have that's like, yeah, I remember being like 22, like that. That was fun, and like I don't know. It's like now it's the real world, and it is kind of shitty. And it's
I get that, but I also
universal
think
experience.
You choose that, like you do choose what your life looks like, and if you want your life to like mellow out, which I think a lot of people do, like that's fine. Like go for that, you know.
Yeah,
and I get being nostalgic for a time when it was like crazy and you're only responsible for yourself or whatever. But like if that's the life that you're happy with, like no one says you have to change that either, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I think this is what I was trying to say, because I agree with everything you're saying, and you have like a very optimistic spin on it. But it's like this coming to terms with your, what's the word?
Hemorrhoids.
Your mortality. Like coming to terms with your own mortality and like kind of having to make peace with it is maybe the universal understanding I was talking about with the 30-year-olds. Whereas like
it becomes real that
it becomes so real when you start seeing wrinkles on your face and your body hurts in your late 20s.
Oh, I'm actually aging.
And you're so optimistic about it. And I remember talking to my older sister, she's 10 years older than me, and saying exactly what you're saying. And yes, I do agree with all those. I agree that age is a mindset. I agree that like it is what you make of it. You need to like take care of yourself. But it is just funny to me that when I talk to 30-year-olds, there is like this kind of like cynical jadedness in our like tones when we talk about aging, because I think around this age when you start seeing it visually and like physically show up on you, is you kind of have to face this like really real mortality that is terrifying and become at peace with it, and then you become empathetic for other people that have also had to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like well, yeah, I mean, it's easy to not take it seriously when you're like, oh, okay, haha. But then when you see
what I was trying to say
when
earlier.
you see it on yourself, like visibly, and it brings it into reality. Because it's one thing to know that, oh, I will get older, you know what I mean? But it's another thing to witness it.
Yeah.
What do you think especially what chills me lately is like, especially because I don't see my parents as often as I did when I was in high school, obviously, or even in college, like I saw them fairly frequently, like every, month or two. But like now
Parents
the
aging.
spaces, like the time between when I see them has widened, and so yeah, sometimes I do see them after like a couple months, and I'm like, oh, like you are.
They're aging with
Not
us.
to like call my mother or anything. Like she looks incredible, and like so does my dad. But like yeah, you do start to see that they are getting older. You know.
No, I literally had a mental breakdown
Yeah.
when I visited my mom because she's the sweetest woman to ever exist.
Yeah, it's
And
sad.
I never go to her house because it's just they have a lot of animals and it's kind of a mess. And I usually stay with my brother and at his house, his family's house. But I went to my mom's house and she had all of our pictures all over her room. It was like a shrine. And she had every like gift I've ever given her on display. Every gift my niece has ever given her on display.
Stop! I'm gonna sob.
And I was bawling my eyes out.
I would be too.
Because that's her whole life.
That is so sweet.
And it's like your parents are just living life for the first time too. Like she's just a human. Like she's just I don't know. You think your parents are like immortal and like superheroes.
They also think they know
and that they know everything.
What's coming. Yeah, and they don't. Like
they don't.
This is their first time being old.
Yeah.
First time like facing this part of life, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
Aging is
it's weird.
So weird, especially now.
Do you have any fears? Like what is something that you dread about getting older?
My biggest fear of all is just not getting everything done that I want to get done, like not living a full life.
Yeah.
So I think that gives me some anxiety because I'm like, oh my god, I need to be doing this, this, and this.
Yeah.
But then, it's also like I want to live in the moment.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What about you?
I used to think about death a lot as a kid. I don't know why. Like it was kind of a morbid fascination.
Your mortality at a much younger age
I
than
think
most people.
I did. Yeah, and for people who don't know, I had a pretty serious chronic illness when I was young, and they didn't really know what it was. I'm fine now, obviously, but at the time they were like, "Is this cancer? Like, is this
we didn't know
terminal?
If you had cancer
like,
or
there
leukemia or what."
I think there was a matter of like maybe 6 to 8 months where like they thought it was very possible that I was gonna be like dying.
Yeah.
Like they didn't know, and so I think my parents tried to shield me from that a lot as a kid, and so it's weird because I wasn't fully aware of what was happening, but I think subconsciously just like reading their emotions, and when you're a kid you're so empathetic to what your parents feel.
Yeah, you're very in tune with
it's
what
like when
feel.
they say in parenting books and stuff, like if your kid falls and gets hurt,
you can't react.
Yeah, if you're like, oh my god, are you okay? Then they're gonna think it's worse than it is. But if you're like, oh, it's okay, like get up, you're fine, then they'll fine. You know what I mean? They don't like have a full meltdown. And I think my parents were trying to put on such a brave face for me that I realized something was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, this is off.
I just something felt off, and I knew.
Wait, so why is this your fear?
Well, what do you mean?
You were like, we were saying it.
Oh well, yeah. I was just gonna say, like,
aging.
in a weird way, I did confront the fact that no one is safe from death, really, and like
or aging. Everybody ages.
Well, what was weird is that I hadn't really had a chance to age at that time because I was so young.
So you hadn't come to terms with aging yet, but you come to terms with death.
Yeah, because like that with the fact that life could end at any moment. And so in a weird way, I think I am very at peace with that, at least for someone my age. And like, granted now, like, I'm scared of dying, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But like, if I got hit by a bus, I'd be like, honestly, I had a pretty good run. Like, yeah, I was like only 23 years, but like, I did a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, I got to travel the world.
Yeah.
I have fallen in love, had my heart broken. I have had jobs. I've had boyfriends. A couple boyfriends. I've had good sex, bad sex, like food. You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of... granted, there's still a lot I want to do with my life, but like, I feel like I got to do a lot. And I don't know. I'm just grateful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. They say gratitude is like a really quick way to happiness or feeling content. But I feel like I agree. I have had a really beautiful relationship, been in love, had a really toxic relationship, had a
Yeah.
heartbreak, lived a lot of places, moved around, done a lot, gone to school, traveled. But then, like, I feel the same, but then I'm also just afraid of dying because I'm like, I like being in control. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
I don't like not knowing what happens. I like my little life here. I don't want to leave. I want to stay here and eat my cookies. Like, what
For me, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'm like, honestly, take me now.
No, I'm like, please, I still need to get things done.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, though. It's
I'm like,
rough.
I still have so much to do.
What age do you think you're gonna die?
I already know I'm going to die at 50 of cancer.
That's early.
Because
That's young.
just so if anyone wasn't aware, my family's fucking
Predictions.
crazy,
Yeah.
and we think we're witches, my mom, my sister, and I, and we think we know how we're gonna die.
Well, I mean, to be like perfectly honest, there is evidence to support that. Like, you guys have had some like
We've had
some
weird
weird stuff. Yeah.
superstitious, like, otherworldly stuff happen.
Yeah.
Very woo woo. And also, our great grandma, her name was Rose Bustamante, and she was Mexican, and we always joked that she was bruja.
Yeah.
Because we just feel like that would be fitting, and it's all the women in that line, like on that side, that have
Yeah.
this vibe.
That's why she has all those severed baby's fingers in her freezer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so random. How does your brain come up with these things?
Mental illness.
Yeah, mental illness.
Anyway, so you fear that you are not going to be able to. That's so existential. That's very real. That you're not going to be able to get everything
Yeah.
that you've done.
Oh, but I was
do.
saying I know I'm gonna die of cancer at 50 because I ate
Yeah.
way too many bags of popcorn as a kid.
You see,
Yeah.
microwave popcorn.
And I would stand there and watch it.
That'll do it.
I
Yeah.
would stand there and watch the
Yeah.
microwave.
I always have paranoia that I'm gonna get testicular cancer from keeping my phone in my pocket. You know.
Yeah.
That's
from
probably
Hillary.
my mom though. Yeah, she always made me
We
paranoid
both.
about it.
Yeah. She was like, "Do you keep your phone by your head when you sleep?" And I was like,
She always asks me that too.
"I was like, yeah." She's
Yeah.
like, "You're gonna die.
You're gonna.
I have a brain tumor." I was like,
But also,
okay.
like, if cell phones
She
were
has the
killing
worst
people, wouldn't we die?
anxiety
That?
I've
She
ever-
does.
I've ever
So
seen.
bad. Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. Now I have anxiety over that. Thanks.
I have a feeling. In fact, I know I'm gonna die in a car accident.
Yeah.
So every time I get in the car, I'm like, this could be it.
If you could know how you died, would you want to know?
No.
I would
would.
totally want to know.
You would?
Yeah.
Like, you know how?
I want to know
Well,
when.
the
I
good
wanna know
news
how,
is
I
if
wanna
you're
know
like,
where I go.
I'm gonna
I
die
can't control.
on a roller coaster, you can be like, oh, well, I'm never gonna ride roller coaster.
No, well, if it was like, no, I want to know when and how.
What
And
if
then
you
I'll
knew
just
how,
prepare.
but you didn't know when?
And then I'll just take a Xanax before it happens. No, I want to know when and how. That way, if it's in a week, I'll be like, all right, I'm quitting
Live
my
it up.
job, going to Europe for a week.
I disagree.
If
I just
it's
want to
in
like.
10 years, I'll be like, okay, I need to get married so I experience everything.
Yeah,
like,
but then you're in your
I'll have
mind,
some
you'll always
kids.
feel like the clock is ticking. You'll be like, okay, I have 9 years left. Like, that would stress me out.
I don't think I'd be stressed out. I
Yes,
think
you
I would
would.
get lots of things done.
Honestly, good motivation.
Yeah, good motivation.
You have a deadline. That's
So
honestly, that's
if you
how
want
people
me to
should.
tell you how you die, just like log on to my psychic Instagram account. Yeah.
You should get on TikTok Live and start doing tarot card readings.
Yeah.
Do you ever do those?
Oh, so at the Bachelorette yesterday.
Yeah.
There was a tarot card reader across
Yeah.
the street. I was like, I'm going. All the girls were like, that's witchcraft. You can't do that.
Wait,
You're
like
gonna
seriously?
let Satan. Yes. You're gonna let Satan into your soul.
Tarot card reading?
Yes.
That's shocking.
I was like, he's already there, bitch. He's been there.
You're like Satan's
Since
scared.
I left the Mormon
Satan's
church.
scared. I'm gonna get in his soul. Yeah. Oh my god. Speaking of Mormons, I watched that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives show.
What'd you think?
It is.
Did you learn anything
crazy.
about the Mormon church?
It's just so. Well, they're like, I'm Mormon. I can't do that. Meanwhile, they're like gyrating
not
on
real
national
Mormons.
television. I know. I'm like.
They're not real Mormons.
But I'm like, girl, give up the goat. Like at this point, it's like, why are you?
Why are you pretending?
Yeah, and like, why do you even care? Like, clearly, they all drink, which already is like, you can't be Mormon. and
I
drink.
have not known any Mormons.
And they're like, we can't have caffeine, we can't have coffee, but they're like drinking energy drinks. Like, there's literally
They're really
like a
bad
scene where
Mormons.
the dad is like drinking a Red Bull. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, they're bad Mormons.
Yeah.
Everybody always, when I tell them I'm Mormon, they're like, did you soak? I was like, I didn't even know what that was until a year ago.
We need to inform the audience. Soaking, well, tell us what soaking is.
It's when a man.
So, because in
and
the
a
Mormon
woman,
faith, you're not
the
supposed to have
birds and the
sex till
bees.
marriage.
Yeah.
This is kind of the loophole that people have come up with.
They basically just put it in, and then somebody goes under the bed, I guess, and shakes the bed so that they feel something.
Yeah, because you can't, like, thrust, right?
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
And I didn't even know that was a thing. And everybody makes fun
I
of
don't
me.
think it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Is it? Do people really do
I
it?
think it is.
Maybe. Well, the
Yeah.
more you know.
I did.
I've kind of unintentionally soaked with a guy before, but that's just because I was too lazy to, like... too tired to put in the work.
Too much information.
I'm sorry.
Too
Is
much
that okay?
information.
Yeah, anyway, that's crazy.
Yeah. I would say...
What do you think you'll look like when you're old?
Oh, my psychic told me I'm going to get even more beautiful with age. She said you're going to be very selfish
She
for a
was
while.
really putting in the work for that tip.
Yeah, she was like, you're going to be really selfish for a while and only care about money, but then you'll come back to God. Like, you'll come back to spirituality.
Roasted.
Eventually, you're going to, like, get lost there for a while. And, yeah. So...
Molly has predicted my future, and she's told me that I'm going to have, like, 5 marriages.
He's going to have, like, 5 marriages. The first one will be for money. The second one will be for love, but that person will die.
Great.
The person will be for fun. It'll be like a
For
Vegas.
fun?
A Vegas
Vegas wedding? Honestly, kind of love that for me.
In your 40s.
In
And
my
then
40s.
30s or 40s. And then eventually you'll settle down with a nice short man.
A short man? Honestly, I do love a short king. I'm
The
sorry.
love of your life.
It's tough because I am like 6'2", and so for me, like the back problem's present. But I feel like by that age, I'll probably already have a hunchback. You know? So like we'll already be like eye level.
How's your little bump? Have you seen that with Blake Lively?
No.
It was like this interview where she's like, oh, how's your little bump? And then
About
Blake
the baby.
Lively's like, and she's like, how's your little bump? To the interviewer?
No, what?
Yeah, she got all offended.
About the baby?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Because she was pregnant, and then...
Oh, were people not supposed to know she was pregnant?
No, she just got offended for no reason.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and went off on the interviewer.
That's crazy. Anyway,
Anyways.
getting older. Yeah. It's scary. Do you feel old now, or do you still feel like...
I feel old. I need to go get Botox this week for my crow's feet.
I need to get Botox,
Get some feet for my crows.
I need to get... when the edible hits. No, I need to do the forehead Botox, and I think the eyes. The time will come. Well, especially because when you have light eyes, you're so used to squinting in the sun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
And that
definitely-
makes really bad crow's
my
feet.
bad
So
crow's
now,
feet.
whenever I go outside, I'm like stare directly into the sun and just try
But
to,
there is something to say about aging gracefully. Like, I really commend people like my sister who... Sounds like such a backhanded compliment.
That is backhand. But she doesn't.
no,
she hasn't aged.
She's
though.
gorgeous, but we were talking about like aging gracefully and how when I was little and I imagined like aging, I looked up to my mom and like other famous actresses like Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly who aged. Wait, did Grace Kelly? How old was she when she died?
She looked to be pretty old, didn't she?
So like these actresses
40.
that aged so gracefully and like they always kept their respect, and I looked up to them, and I feel like now with Botox and filler and Instagram, like nobody wants to age. The concept of aging gracefully is gone.
Well, I think you can age gracefully and still get Botox. Like, it's not disgraceful to have Botox,
No,
is it?
but I think that we've forgotten about this, and it's really important, especially for women, to like remember that you don't have to make society happy. That's not your job. Your job is to live your life for you.
Yeah.
And you're gonna age. Like, we're all human. Everybody has to do it. And if you think otherwise, then I'm sorry, you don't know anything about the world. Like, these comments I see from men that are like, oh, she's gotten so old, if it's like an actress or whatever they haven't seen in a while. I'm like, do you know, are you
Yeah,
human?
duh.
Of course.
So have you.
Like, of course
did you think
she's
she was
aged.
gonna stay 18?
Yeah. What
Like,
the hell? It's such a weird comment.
It is a weird thing to say. Yeah.
Like, yes, duh. Do you know what life
Yeah.
is? Are you a living, breathing human?
I feel, especially when it comes to women, I do think men are kind of safe from that pressure, because a lot of men like are still like fuckable in their like 50s.
Yeah, it's just
like people love a dilf.
women just
But
get the short end of the
although
stick.
They do. Although I have to say, I've worked with a lot of straight men, and they love the MILFs. They do.
Some do.
It is. I think it's like
My
the
guy
age of
friends
the
in
MILF.
high school were like, oh, MILFs. And I was like, you have
They
all
love it.
these high schoolers
They
and
love it.
college girls.
That's what's weird. I feel like you're almost. This is kind of the same in the gay community. Like women and the gays, I feel like experience this. Men either want like the newly 18-year-olds, like barely legal, or like someone in their 40s or 50s, like a daddy or like a MILF.
Yeah.
It's true. It's like when you're in your 30s,
Mommy
it's like you're the
issues.
least desirable, which is so weird.
I love a man in his 30s.
I do too, but I feel like that's when people are at their most attractive, and in a weird way, like it's not like I don't know, maybe it's just not fetishized the same way.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
It's not fetishized
because you're kind of in the middle to be either old or young.
With a huge age gap.
It's not extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're in your 30s and you're dating someone who's 18, and if you're 30s and you're dating someone who's 40,
you're
it's
in the
like
middle.
you're
It's
still
not
10.
too crazy.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
But if you're like 18 and 50.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So true.
So true, bestie. But yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything else to say about aging?
I don't know. I mean, do you have any advice? I feel like we've kind of shared our own
I was
ways,
kind of jaded about it, but I actually really enjoy it. I think that you're coming into yourself. I feel like I finally know what looks good on me. I finally know who I am. I know what I will tolerate, what I won't tolerate.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to age, but there's also a lot of good things that come from it because you get to know yourself
completely.
a lot better.
And everyone's like, "Oh my god, I don't want to get older."
Mm-hmm.
But if I had the chance to go back and be who I was when I was 16, absolutely not.
Even when I was like 21, like 2021, I was like, girl, I'm so sorry.
I like who I am so
You
much
need
more
help.
now.
You need help.
Yeah.
She
well,
was
that's the
really
thing.
miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so. I mean, that's why they say youth is wasted on the young,
Mm-hmm.
because you are so insecure and you feel everything so severely. Like.
Yeah, if I could have the confidence I have now at the
that would be
age of
fun.
18,
Yeah.
that would be great. But you can't have it. You can't have it all. No, you have to figure it out. That life lessons, like you have to go through that to come out the other side and learn your lesson.
I think my life has only gotten better the older I got.
Me too.
I mean, I had a great childhood, but like.
I think half of it is being grateful. Learning to be grateful.
Well, this sounds so like white motherly of me, but like it's true. Having the opportunity to age is a blessing. Like not everyone lives this long, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're 16 or you're 40, like some people don't even make it that far.
You have to remember that.
Yeah.
Like you're lucky to even be here to see the sun. Like you get to
you peasant.
have all these experiences, and a lot of people don't get that. And
no, they really don't. Some of them are like never let out of the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you weren't until you were 20.
Honestly, a helicopter mom. Talk about it.
Okay, well, I think that's all for today. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah.
And
just remember, your ball sack may be taut and up high now, but just give it a couple years, it'll be tucked into your loafers.
Do your boobs hang low?
Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow?
Then you toss
Throw 'em
them over your shoulder like a continental soldier. Do your boobs hang low? We sang that all through our childhood.
Yeah,
now
that's
it's
a classic.
reality.
Old but gold.
It's a reality.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.